Hi all, I have another amazing game of Wei Yi played in the current Danzhou Chinese Championship. So this is 10th of July 2015, just played yesterday from the time of this video. E4 from Wang Chen, his opponent 2521 on IM. Wei Yi plays the Sicilian defense, and we have this variation with now the anti-Nezhmetdinov bishop b5. So Nezhmetdinov fans should really look at this. What do you do against this? G6 is a very, very good move here. It's the top move. You allow often doubled pawns just to try and increase your influence over that d4 square, key square here. White castled, bishop g7, c3, and now knight f6, trying to provoke the pawn forward. Now the usual move is actually rook e1. Here queen e2 was played, black castled, h3, queen b6, hitting the bishop, or potentially useful for the bishop. Here now, white played bishop a4, and we're coming off known territory now quite rapidly. Not many games from this position, bishop after bishop a4. Okay, black energetically played d5 here, challenging white's centre pawn. White played e5, we have knight d7, and now white played bishop takes c6. Okay, is white aiming just to reinforce the e5 pawn? So we're taking, maybe white can just reinforce e5 with d4. In fact, black here played b takes c6, so Wei Yi is accepting double pawns. But this diagonal might be interesting for bishop a6, and the queen's quite nicely placed here on b6, pressure on b file and on that d4 square. So white dare not play something like d4 here, you know, maybe taking and then bishop a6 skewer. So white protects that diagonal a bit. And now another energetic move, challenging the central control with f6. We have e takes f6, e takes f6. And now white trying to blunt the impact of this bishop on this diagonal plays actually c4. Now this is an odd looking move, this next one, a little bit. Bishop a6, even though the bishop's blunted, it's still useful to have pressure on that c4 pawn. Check, rook f7, and now we have knight c3. So it seems a little bit awkward for black at the moment. Unable to contest the e-file at the moment. This invasive queen is a bit of a pain. Maybe there's some further nuisance moves coming up from white. The first thing black does is evict the queen with knight f8. She goes back to e2. And then we have d takes c4. So this actually emphasizes black's structural defect, but pressure on c4 now is pretty concrete in return. Queen b4, forcing a response to defend c4, knight d2, and now we have f5, putting some pressure on c3 actually. Maybe black's going to even consider taking here. We have queen f3, reinforcing things, and it seems white is pretty solid here. Okay, so what's actually going on? I think this pawn's immune, because if taking there's something like a3, kicking the queen to be unable to defend c4, so that pawn's not there for the taking. We have rook c8 defending this pawn, a3, queen b8, the queen going all the way back, which helps contest the e-file maybe later with rook e8. In fact, now after rook e1 we have rook e8, rook takes e8, queen takes, and white is content to get the queens off with queen e3, even allowing a seemingly isolated pawn here which might be vulnerable. White is maybe looking at that c5 pawn and thinking that would be a nice target later, even if knight b3, maybe knight takes c5 later will be quite juicy in principle if you can get that sort of thing in, or knight a4. So this looks like a problem if black exchanges queens. It looks kind of lucrative to do that, but there might be some big downsides here. Instead of this, more excitingly for the chess fans, the queens are kept on here, and black plays the start of a great attack, actually, exploiting the fact that white's pieces are not really out of the box, they're blocked in here. So what would you play here with black if I give you 5 seconds here, starting from now? Would you take the queen or something else? Okay, rook e7 was played just off of c5. Yes, queen takes c5. And now we get this very dangerous looking check. So at least we're going to get a pinned piece, aren't we? Unless the king wants to go here. So the king goes to h2. Yes, no pinned piece. And now black to play. Very, very good stuff now coming up. What does black want to do in this position? What would you play with black? If I give you 5 seconds, starting from now, would you try and protect the pawn? Or something else? Go for it. Sack the pawn. Knight e6 was played. So offering a7. But also controlling now d4, supporting bishop d4. Queen takes a7. In fact, bishop d4 now, kicking the queen again. And sacking the entire bishop on a6. Hold on a sec. Yes, I should have tested it on that move. Wait. Really? Sacking an entire bishop? Yes, that really happened. Sorry I didn't ask you what to play here. But yes, I was so excited by that. Black sacks an entire bishop now with bishop d4. Wow. If he didn't, maybe white's going to start consolidating. Move like knight f3 and then bringing back the queen to e3 if rook f1, queen e3. So just in time, you're controlling some key squares. Sacking the bishop. Wasn't doing much anyway. Black to play here. Alright, what would you play in this position? Yes, Patzer sees a check, plays a check. The check here. But black isn't the Patzer, of course, it's just an expression. An expression by Fischer. g3. Is this crushing? Bishop takes f2. White actually resigned here. Why did white resign? Let's have a look at this position. If black, well, threatening is threatening this mate, so let's say knight f1. Trying to give back a piece just to defend g3 with bishop f4. Say this position. Can you see what black has in this position? I'll give you 5 seconds starting from now. So queen's attacked. And the rook's attacked. Is this naughty? What's the most incisive thing for black to do here? Okay, I'm going to tell you. Bishop takes g3 check is crushing. In this position, if this happened, because bishop takes, we have... What would you play here? There's two moves actually which are really crushing. The best is actually taking here. That's mating quite quickly. Yeah, just throwing heads, delay. It's going to be a mate. Also, of course, give yourself some points for rook f2. That's also winning using the pin. Going to be mating here. There's spike checks, but it's not defending these two key squares. So yeah, the opponent resigned after bishop takes f2. It was a neat game, I thought. I'd quickly show you this game. So just very recently from yesterday. Not entirely, super brilliant, but shows, if the opponent's got congestion, the need to play energetically just to make sure the opponent's congestion doesn't clear up. Just get to their king, sacrifice a bishop if needed, sacrifice a couple of pawns, get to the opponent's king is the message from this game, from Wei Yi. I think he's going to start teaching us how to attack the king. Comments or questions on YouTube? Thanks very much.